Hi, Walnut. Welcome to another impromptu Q&A with Laz Time. I have been using these little quick snips as a way for me to practice using my voice, practice having an undefined throat and using the information in my brain and projecting it and expressing myself. So thank you for this opportunity and thank you for your questions. So the first question that I actually had was how to embrace the silly season coming up. So this would be for the end of the year. You've got the Christmas period, you've got the New Year's, and how to stay grounded through the chaos and madness that is the end of the year. Now, if you're anything like me, Walnut, it has been a series of feelings of burnout, not exhaustion, but just at the end of my week, just like really getting a little bit frustrated, a lot easier than normal. It's just this weird time of year, right? And things start to go a little bit crazy. That all of a sudden is the weekend and you haven't really done anything. It's all of a sudden just sneaks up on you really quickly. And I always feel like sometimes I go into Christmas and all the family things and I feel very unprepared and broke. So one of my ways to sort of keep grounded that I would sort of not recommend, but like I feel like sharing with you is preparation is key. Preparation is so key, even if it feels annoying at the time of doing it. But even to the point where like I have 1 year, I haven't done it this year, sadly, Walnut. But I had 1 year where I had finished everybody's Christmas shopping well before November. I had like done all the things. We had another year where we had a trip to Australia just before Christmas. It was like, I think it was, first weekend of November. And we did all the Christmas shopping there at the outlets. And it felt really, really good just to know weeks in advance that everything was sorted. The money was already spent. I didn't have to save up for that. It meant that all the money coming in after that point, I could spend on food and going to the places and doing all the things. So for me, definitely preparation is key in terms of the hustle and bustle and rushing of all the things. And I know some people can, they really thrive on going shopping on the 24th of December for their things. For me, that's hell on earth. I am a person who prefers the online shopping and not just being around lots of people, and malls give me like a really bad anxiety. It just gets a bit too much for me. I'll still do it, but I prefer not to. So just knowing myself and knowing that, those are the situations that bother me and how can I, not have that feeling. So preparing earlier, online shopping, and that kind of like way of knowing yourself. And you know yourself, Walnut. So what can you do to avoid any feelings of like madness and chaos right now, before the time that you're thinking of? And this is relative to not only Christmas, New Year's time, right? This can happen all the time for you. But that's my first number thing. Get like in the masculine energy and prepare lists, knowing like if you've got meal ideas, like knowing what meals you have and like what you need to buy for those meals. And if you're going to lots of different places, what are you going to prepare for when? Like just doing that little planning and organization, I think has really like saved my butthole a good couple of times, and bank account wise too. Just getting that done as early. I mean, sometimes groceries you can't, but doing things as early as kind of possible. Another thing that I kind of just wanted to speak to really quickly on the staying grounded part is also just remembering like why you're doing stuff. I don't know why and I don't know how, but Christmas to me, I will just guiltily say I'm actually a little bit of a Grinch. I don't really enjoy this time of year that much as when I was a child. But Christmas has, as I got older, begun to just feel stressful. And it's because it's stressful because you're running around, you're sometimes hungover running around, and just it's financially a burden, and it shouldn't feel like that, right? Christmas, and this is what I was meaning about, like, coming back to why you're doing it. Christmas is actually supposed to be, you know, whatever religious connotations you want or whatever, but I always think of it as a time of, you know, catching up with your family and gratitude and eating all the food, you know, feeling the abundance of, and that like feast, the feastly vibes. So why are you doing stuff? And especially with present buying, why are you buying the present? And one thing that I've started to like think about a lot is how can I, because my love language is gifts, also acts of service, but gift giving. I'm also a 5-1 in human design, so I have this like innate need to like come and save the day and be a superhero, and that includes supporting businesses. So I always try and think of like, how can what I am financially spending like contribute to something bigger than just like the basis of spending money. So one of the things I've done this year is for my Walnut team, my team Walnut by default, they get a Christmas gift from Walnut Wednesday every year. So 1, that's a tick for my love language. And then 2, this year I've decided to gift them my client's book, which I have. So I've pre-ordered 2 copies of in advance before Christmas time. I've pre-ordered 2 copies, one for them, one for both of my teammates. So teammates, they are by default my team, and they just help me out a lot. So I love you. Thank you if you're watching. But it supports somebody else. It's giving abundance to somebody else, and it's someone local. It's like a, you know, New Zealand, the country I live in, all that kind of stuff. So coming back to, the reasons why you're doing stuff and how can you make more of an impact than just doing something because you sort of have to do something, right? Another example is that this year on Geordie's side, there's been a rule, kind of a looser rule sort of placed, is about presents and stuff for the kids, but also no plastic. So Geordie and I actually have been having a really fun time sort of thinking about and brainstorming how we can be creative and do something that's engaging with the kids, that's not just buying the kids a summer gift to play with, like water fights or something, you know, like that. Walnut, it's summer at Christmas time for us in New Zealand, if you're overseas. You know, so we thought about things like a really cool, I'll bring my Polaroid camera. I mean, that's plastic, but, you know, we'll make a time capsule and bury it at Geordie's parents' place, something like that, right? So just thinking outside the box, and how can you make that time feel not stressful and bring, like you can hear in my voice, bring that sort of excitement back to what you're doing and how you're behaving. But I think the main thing just really comes down to that, like, why are you doing stuff, and what's the intent behind it, right? I will leave it at that. But that is my little riff on the silly season, as one would call it, or how to sort of stay grounded at that like chaotic time at the end of the year. So if you have anything else to add, or you have any more questions, this is a really fun way, again, for me to practice my voice. And I really appreciate your time. So I'd love to hear from you and let me know what you think. Bye.